Okay, so we're continuing the First Impressions series. We finished Warlords of Draenor yesterday, and I really liked Warlords. I really like the garrison system. It solved a lot of my MMO problems. I'll probably talk about it later on when some people are around, but I guess everybody hated garrisons, and maybe they just hated the lack of other content available. Kind of makes me sad because it would have been really cool to see Blizzard continue moving in that direction. I guess they kind of did with Legion, I've heard, but as far as I can tell, the system's almost totally gone in the most recent expansion as of this recording, Battle for Azeroth. What I wanted to do today was do first impressions on the Demon Hunter class, because I really enjoyed all of the class quests and starting zones for the Death Knight. So we'll check that out, and then if we still have time, if I'm not super tired, I might do just a little bit of the Legion expansion in general. So let's try it out. I believe in order to play as a Demon Hunter, I have to play as a Blood Elf. I guess I could be a Night Elf, but who plays Alliance? I'll go ahead and make a lady since most of my characters are dudes right now. Customize, what do we got here? Let's look at sweet demon horns. Take that. Oh, cool. I can make her look even more demonic. I like it. Let's go with looking as gross as possible. Face. I've already leveled out of it. That's the problem right now with the expansions. It goes by so fast you don't get to see any of the content. I know, right? Can't really see the difference in faces because of her mask. Can I zoom at all? Look really close. Going for maximum gross. That probably gets there. Hairstyle. Make her bald. Elves aren't allowed to be bald. Let's see how it is. That's pretty straightforward. Earrings. I was like, I could keep leveling or I could keep doing stuff in Draenor, but I'm not going to get significant XP there anymore, so I may as well go straight into Legion. Tattoos. Oh, right on. I kind of like some of these. Tattoo color. It's already Marstead blue. Oh, I can even more Marstead blue. Look at that. Horn style. No horns? What? Why is that even a choice? How could you, game? That's the most over-the-top horns. Blindfolds. Oh, that's cool. I think they're supposed to not have eyes. It's like their thing. I want to have their eyes sticking through the mask. I think that kind of takes away from it. Go with that one. Or this one. Seems more pragmatic. I know, right? The hell. Well, this is actually an Elvish name, so I'll go ahead and use it here. Only elves can be demon hunters, or I wouldn't be doing it. I think it's part of the Warcraft lore or some shit. I don't know, I thought they killed Illidan Stormrage. He's like the main demon hunter guy, right? Elf racist. I hate elves. At least not on the Horde side. Oh, we're gonna start an Outland? That's cool.
My demon hunters. With countless worlds burning in the Legion's wake, you answered the call. Yet these mortals in their ignorance have come to destroy their own own salvation. Our time is short. I will deal with these intruders. You must venture to Mardoom and retrieve the Sargerite keystone.
Okay.
Now go.
Like his eyes glowing through the...
Should you fail, all worlds will burn.
He kind of looks more like Batman. So I guess the demon hunters are like, ends justify the means kind of people. Am I sure I'm a good guy? You kind of look like Satan there, buddy. Alright. Don't care. Wow. Look at her weapons. Are you serious? Here's the part where he's blind. Let me turn on or off an Orgrimmar. I'm not gonna be an Orgrimmar for a minute. Alright, what are my skills? Fell Rush.
Keystone is the crux of my plan to defeat the Burning Legion.
Recognize his voice
Your
actor.
only way back.
Let's
Find
fight.
it and return
Chaos Strike.
to the Black Temple.
King Torrent. Assume those abilities are associated with Blood Elf. Wow, I got a guild invite the instant I logged in.
My
King Sun Fury.
dedicated to destroying the Burning
Sargeras created Mardoom to imprison demons. He created the Sargerite keystone to lock them away. So he was born in the Burning Legion. Alright. Liam O'Brien. Must really want me specifically, I know, right?
Do not give in. You heard Lord Illidan. Let's find that keystone. With it, we'll be
Can I
able to
have my
defeat
mount
any
here?
legion
Would that be really silly? I think it would be.
Argus.
I'm gonna ride around on a rocket. It's gonna be great. Whee! Totally fits the tone of this. I felt like the Death Knight quests were some of the best content I've ever done in an MMO, so I'm excited to see how they handle all this stuff. I'd be worried about dashing through dudes. Pretty much just have 2 buttons right now. It's okay. I gotta have more than 3 buttons, right? Am I supposed to die in the first fight? Didn't seem right. Alright, well, that's not great. That might be because of my UI. Glide. It reduces your falling speed. Activates with a jump key while falling. Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, double jump? What? That's pretty sweet, actually. Wow! I didn't know that was in the game. I'm pretty down with that. Spectropsych, see enemies and treasures through physical barriers. Increase your chaos damage and your movement speed. Killing enemies sometimes creates a soul fragment that is consuming you approach it, healing you. Okay, kill one thing at a time. Tattoos reduce damage taken by 10%. Okay, game. Hey, Nodovan, how are you doing? I really like that glide effect. It's pretty cool. I'm not allowed to wear shirts because of my tattoos.
One dying today, demon.
Oh, let's not try not to die immediately again this time. Still not super clear what went wrong. Shirts are overrated. I should equip all my, what do you call them? Well, it looks like I'm getting XP in here. Oh, I gotta turn that shit on in every character. How dare you, game? First I want auto loop turned on.
You and me to the very end.
Can regular Blood Elves double jump, or is that just a Demon Hunter thing? That's pretty neat. It's DH. It feels pretty good, too. So I'm mostly leveling this character up so that I can help us get the profession achievements in this guild of Hapax, Ginny, and Mats. and this character starts at 98, so I can do most of them trivially. Let's just get these little orbs to heal. I see. To get like health orbs. Got it. And that's how I can fight multiple dudes. Yeah, but that's not Liam O'Brien's fault, right? Isn't that a writing problem Blizzard just kind of has in general? Dude, I love the garrison system in Warlords of Draenor, and I'm super bummed that I outleveled it in like a couple hours. Because I know people complain that it's farm build, but it solves one of my most fundamental complaints about the questing ecosystem of MMOs, and that it actually provides unique, interesting rewards for every different quest chain in the game. Usually the only difference between different quest chains is like what you're actually doing in the quest. The reward is almost always XP or gear. But like giving you followers that you recruit, and giving you garrison supplies, and unlocking new missions and new buildings. It's just suddenly there's all these different things that the game can give you that aren't character progression related. And it felt really good, and I got to play it for like 5 hours, and it's like, alright, you're too high level, go do something else. It's not that it wasn't that fast on release, it's that on release you would get to the level cap, and then you would stop gaining XP. So there was reason to stay in the game world and keep doing things. Change the Legion banner. Kill these guys first. Oh, this level was at BlizzCon? That's cool. It's more of a problem prop with the way they handle old content when a new expansion comes out. I think that the philosophy of Blizzard is new players are going to want to get to the most recent stuff as soon as humanly possible. So we're going to do everything in our power to make that an option. But I would actually rather, you know, play through all of Warlords before it would even let me go to Legion. And now all my bitching and moaning about Final Fantasy XIV is undone, because I'm kind of seeing their point. Although the issue with 14 at the end of the day is a brevity problem. It's, you know, this game has 3 lines of dialogue that are happening while you're playing the game. Every now and then it has a very short, maximum 2 or 3 minute cutscene. Definitely doesn't take, you know, an hour of unskippable cutscene to get its story across.
Sayana, Jace, Alari, find the keystone.
It's true, they're not entirely wrong. You're right.
Let's see about activating
I guess
that gateway.
the dream would be to arrange the game in such a way that all the content is relevant all the time. Why don't they just? So that no matter where you are, it's populated. Actually, Warlords is pretty populated, at least in the chat channels. And I think that was because
Activate all 3 gateways and summon in the rest of
that was
our
because the garrison is still a really convenient place to keep your Hearthstone, because there's a bank there and a mailbox there. Apparently that was a problem because during Warlords of Draenor there was no reason to leave your garrison, so all of the main city hubs were completely empty.
The activator is powered.
I guess the way I would put it is that the problem with 14 is that it is not an option. If they gave me an option in WoW to take my time and see the whole story, I might do it. Oh sweet, is it a
My forces are yours.
Bellsaber? Okay, that's a cool, spooky cat. That's a lot more flavorful than my silly rocket. Let's put that fellow on... yeah, there we go. You double jump on the cat. I can't! It's literally unplayable garbage. Who needs a cat? I can't pet the cat either, but hey. It's only just now being fixed.
Fell energy, corrupting everything they touch.
Some people Victoria cat height. So when they say assault the Legion, they mean just like beat the shit out of dudes? Okay. I do like the choice to start you off with a slimmer ability bar despite starting at level 98. Definitely, the main reason I didn't immediately start playing Death Knight is because I logged into him and saw my talents and abilities and I was like, oh my god. And what's especially frustrating is that the skill list organizes your skills in alphabetical order, which is probably the worst order to organize them in. So even just figuring out, like, what's the button that I'm supposed to press all the time when you haven't looked at the skills in 10 years is pretty challenging. Alright, looks like I did get optional event progress for doing that. I don't know if I have to finish the optional event before turning in the next thing. Talent page highlights the most important ones. I'll look after this. Yeah, I like the mobility stuff too. I don't know, I might play it more. I mean, I like tanking and it's got a tank spec, so. But it's mostly going to be a jewel crafter / leather worker is what our guild still needs, I think. Top like 4. Oh, these 6 abilities? Sure. Okay. Yeah, I know, I saw that before. But I still needed it to give me, just when I was like organizing my bars, like, this is the start of your rotation. This is the second attack in your rotation. You can use this all the time no matter what, you know? Obliteration, pandemonium.
I want a full report! Now!
Alright, Doom Commander Bellyash. God, that guy's name is pretty tryhard. Couldn't he just be like, you know, the vanilla commander? Do you have to be responsible for Doom? Bad at fast attack speed. Feels pretty fun so far. I mean, I have 3 buttons, so let's see. I really like the gliding thing. Following will be cast on you. I-beam. Blast all enemies in front of you, dealing guaranteed critical strikes for a total of a bunch of chaos damage over 1.7 seconds.
Try luck. I will make my way up to the foothold
We
as soon
are
as
all
I'm done
that stands,
with
but
this
I will meet you down at the gateway
Yeah.
on the molten shore.
I can't attack that target.
Molten Shore. I like I-beams. I think I'm gonna unlock it from doing this quest. I don't think so. Is typed damage a thing in this game, Nodovan? I would be shocked if it is. For flavor reasons, maybe. Like, it'll say ice damage, and that doesn't mean anything, I assume. No modern MMO is messing around with including that in their balance. No, it does sound cool. It's just because of Molten Core that I was cracking up. Are we like Russian or something? Oh no, I think the Draini are Russian.
I don't have a target. I can't carry any more of those.
Draini, whatever. Hello. I like that the charge ability has a charge on it. I can use it twice in a row, potentially. Is an Anguish Jailer merely an Anguish Jailer? Or one who jails Anguish? It's a really good question. Yes, that's what's happening. I mean, I gotta give props to the Anguish Jailer for being confident.
It is an honor to kill in Lord Illidan's name.
I had very little interaction with the... How do you pronounce it? Is it Draini? Draini? The space demons that aren't actually demons, but they're like friendly blue demons.
Lord Illidan,
Because blue is much less
never
scary
be
than
taken
red.
Prisoner again. Never.
I didn't see them much in my playthrough of Wrath. But I guess they come up in the story quite a bit more later on. Strainai? Okay. Got it. I keep saying Pandaria, and I think it's supposed to be Pandaria. Pandaren should be Pandaren. Just hide the fact that it's the word panda. But we'll still make ninjas called the Shadow Pan. Sounds kind of sweet. They did a really good job of sidestepping how silly having a panda race is. Like, it took itself reasonably seriously, I felt like. But it had enough levity that, it wasn't, like, over the top or grimdark. You know, like, the tank spec on Monk is like a brewmaster, which is kind of fun. But it could have, like, gone into really bad satire. They weren't careful with it. Draenei rhymes with Canai? Okay. What should I really be using? Get me my meter things. I do kind of like AoE being all about killing one enemy, tanking the others, and then like dashing into a health globe essentially to heal up. I understand why I was dying earlier. Draenei. Less evil demon dudes. Or not at all evil? They seem pretty straightforward. They, like, crash-landed their spaceship on Azeroth, right? Wouldn't work in that death animation. Oop. Just trying to fill this meter. Which I could probably be doing at the same time as the quest objectives, but I have no idea when... When I see bonus objective, I get worried that it's going to be missable. Lots of them became evil. Are the Eridar, like, evil on purpose? Or are they corrupted by Sargeras or some shit? Corrupted, okay. Everybody gets corrupted in this universe. I don't think anyone's a bad guy on purpose. These guys just keep spawning. Okay, well, I'll start moving on in a second. Wow, someone that was like more of a devil than the devil people? Shit. That's freaky deaky.
I will destroy all of you.
Yeah. The devil corrupted them. He's like, you guys look like Satan too. Let's be friends. Sargeras is more like, he's more like Morgoth, right? I guess Morgoth's a pretty on-the-nose take on Satan as well, but... Well, on, like, Bible fanfiction Satan. Paradise Lost, Dante's Inferno take. Fallen Angel, yada yada.
I need to target something first.
You hate his vocal cords and you hate his face.
You don't have much time.
Thanks for your sacrifice. Oh, cool.
Azeroth must not
Worth it.
fall.
Value.
Do not give in to the power.
Murdered the shit out of that guy. Wait, what do they want me to do right here? Coil Scarf Forces. What? Feed a soul into the Legion Gateway activator and then use it to summon in your Coil Scarf Forces. Okay. So I gotta, like, talk into this book or some shit? Do I have a spell bar option to use the soul? Usually I would expect to have a special button here. This last gateway runs on souls.
Lord Illidan knows the way.
Oh, maybe it's this big shiny thing I'm supposed to touch. That makes sense. Hey, thanks, game.
You at the final gateway.
Hey, it's 10,000 years.
Illidari Commander, I present the Coil Scar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Lord Illidan.
Liam asked Matt Mercer to DM a game for his birthday. That's cool.
I assume
So weak.
Just summoning this character and just leaving it behind to go keep questing elsewhere. I'm sorry, game. No, it's awful.
another fell volcano.
I'm out of range.
I don't know, I kind of like bad voice acting, but grew up with it in all my games that I really like, so I usually find it charming. Bad writing, on the other hand, is something that I struggle to accept.
The pain. Lady Setheno requested I join you.
Thanks. Wait, so, Coil Scar are Naga people? Why... I'm clearly not well-versed on Warcraft lore. Why are the demon hunters working with Naga people, and why do we need to sacrifice souls to make that happen? Also, I was really confused during Warlords of Draenor. I read the quest text, I promise, but it didn't really clarify like what the hell was going on. I knew it involved time travel, but I googled it afterward, and apparently it's at the end of Mists of Pandaria. We beat Garrosh in a raid, but then he gets away. He like flies away and teams up with this time dragon, and he goes back in time to when his dad drank the demon blood and gets him to stop, and that creates an alternate timeline, and it's the alternate timeline that we go to, right? So it's not that we're time traveling, they're just another reality now, which was like their excuse to bring back a bunch of characters they killed before World of Warcraft. The Naga serve Illidan. Really? How'd that happen? I don't know the plot behind all that. What else has Liam O'Brien done? I honestly don't know anything about him. He kind of sounds a little like Camp Clark. Whatever happened to that Mal'Ganis guy? He kind of looked like this dude. Like a pit fiend. He used to live in Undercity. Clearly looked like he was gonna betray us at any second.
We are all that stands between the
Oh, Shara's one of Illidan's followers. Right on. That's cool.
Azeroth must not fall.
Enterprise. Wizard built.
Remember.
Dreadlord. Oh, right. But the big buff baby demon guys. The cool costumes and the wings.
Dare attack us here?
I can never keep track. Every developer comes up with different terms to not call their characters Balrogs. I think a Pit Fiend is a Balrog in at least some edition of D&D. I don't remember. They had a window where they were really sensitive about calling things demons and devils, so I forget what the terms were, but they came up with these other words that basically were demons and devils. The equivalent of like Eridar. Although Eridar is cool because it sounds all like sci-fi space alien. Pit Fiends are Balrogs and Heroes of Might and Magic. It's a cool effect. No, don't invite me to your guild. Fight the mini-boss. It'd be a lot easier if I didn't have an ad here the whole time. That's pretty dope. I like that. It's happening in an open world quest. Although it's probably not totally open. Imagine this is phased or something. Hey, your Colossal Infernal did not crush me. Are my two skills in the bottom right, the little blue circle, Arcane Torn and Spectral Sight, are those Blood Elf abilities? Balors and Pit Fiends, which respectively are top tier devils and demons. Kind of, but not really Balrogs, right? I think there's something that's absolutely a Balrog, it's just not called that. Thanks for the health, Naga Lady. Voice director for The Witness? There's voice acting in The Witness? What? Alright, I'm gonna go get my eye laser power. That's why I have to wear a, some bandages over my eyes, so I don't accidentally eye laser people all the time. It's like Cyclops, but Satan. Akihiko in Persona 3? Okay, he was fine in that. Akihiko was one of the characters... I think I hated him the 7th or 8th most.
I sense greater power within you. Have you stolen a demon's essence?
He was the guy that punched people.
To complete the ritual.
He had gloves.
Come to your aid.
He had gray hair despite being like 17 or something. He had like a little sister or some shit.
There are demon hunters on my world, Doom Commander. This is unacceptable.
My Eridar are summoning in more demons to attack them from behind, Your Highness.
Do not
This is still all happening during Burning Crusade, right?
The key to the Legion's worlds must not fall into their hands, Beliash.
Eliash is way cooler than Belly Ash.
Their leader,
I thought his name was Belly Ash.
See that you do.
This reads like pretty good Metzen cheese, but like, this is after Metzen was gone, right?
What have you given?
Maybe WoW is just Metzen cheese now, whether he's there or not.
If we don't, Beliash is
I don't mind it, it's a cartoony game.
You'll want to deactivate them.
Like, not even talking about the art style, just like,
You up in the volcano.
the story of WoW is pretty cartoony and always has been. So you get characters named like, what the fuck was the name of the Black Dragon, one of the earliest raids in WoW? His name is like Evilon or like Nefarious. Nefario. It's like being named Darth Vader. Darth Destroyer. Nefarian, okay. Darth Murderer.
I need a target.
It's the same with Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars has always been very cheesy.
I don't have a target.
His human disguise was Lord Victor Nefarious. Oh man, this game. Demon Hunter Blindfold is used to conceal the remains of their mutilated eye sockets. Okay. Well, I could have built the character to look like a completely normal blood elf, with no horns and no blindfold. I just have shiny green eyes instead of whatever the normal... I think, don't normal blood elves have shiny green eyes too?
The Legion must be stopped before they burn our world.
I'm racist against blood elves. I think I'm mostly just conforming to the meme. I think that's just a general Horde meme. I certainly didn't come up with that on my own. Source amnesia. Hey, it's Belly Ash. What's up, dog?
Deal with these insects, Beliash.
They will die! Get away from that spire!
We'll destroy the Burning Legion.
I really need some health orbs, and you don't have any ads to summon to give me any. I'm gonna die before this guy dies. I don't have any way to heal here. I had like a buddy or somebody healing me that would help. Do I have any like cheese that I can eat? I do, actually. That's nice. Alright, well, try it again at full health next time. I can still do the glide thing when I'm dead, that's cool. Standard follow the power of darkness to defeat darkness. So it is ends justify the means. Yeah. Any race can become Demon Hunter? Like in the lore? They made it elves only in World of Warcraft for some reason. Have to be super old or some shit? Hey Yahan, how you doing? Oh, right on. So, even though this mission takes place during Burning Crusade, like, my character has been a demon hunter for a long-ass time. Walk faster while dead. Oh, they finished killing him! Oh, but it doesn't count! Because I was running back. Oh, someone else showed up and killed him. Alright. And now the glory of phasing. I bet that they balanced this place assuming that 1 million people were in here, just destroying everything as demon hunters.
Deal with these insects below.
There we go. Hey man, what's up, dog?
They will die! Get away from that spire!
I like that this enemy uses attacks that make me want to use the charge move. Oh, I'm sorry about the sleepless night. What picture was it? Uh-huh. Think so? I mean, like... Alright. One step closer to the return of the Reapers. Oh, at least the other players are helping me this time, because I don't know if I can beat it solo? I don't have any way to heal. I can maybe bring an ad in here with me. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Oh, I hate you so much. Alright. Try it again. I feel like for a fight like that, especially when they're trying to get you to use dashes, they should probably get rid of leashing. Come on. Come on. Come on. Goodness. Woof. Can I get him to respawn? There he is. Alright, round 3.
They will die!
I don't know if I can win solo. Like I said, I have no healing. I have no allies. I got nobody sending me heals. There's an ally. The buzzer is get the fuck out. It's because I'm standing in something bad. Now, I gotta keep backtracking because of these green lasers that actually do hurt me. Try eating some more rations. No, not in combat. Alright. Okay, now I got some buddies here. Try not getting hit by the lasers.
I need to target
First try.
first.
Inferno peak.
Okie doke. Oh, hey. Thought this would just throw these on the bars when I learned them. I guess not. I-beam, blast all enemies in front of you, dealing guaranteed critical strikes, chaos damage, interrupt spell casting. That's the only thing I missed. I think general, right?
I am here to assist you.
Another sacrifice over here. Let me try this cool new AoE skill. Whoa, that's neat. Fly up in the air.
Ashton serve. We have a huge problem here. I've sacrificed everything. What have you given?
I want you to sacrifice me in order to power the gateway. Made up my mind. Sacrifice me and power the gateway.
We do not meet Your sacrifice will not be in vain.
I'm glad it actually happened. They didn't but thou must be. What you don't know is that I'm a player character and I can resurrect. It's gonna be fine. Oh wow, so it just you just have to do it again and sacrifice the other guy.
Like me, you have an immortal demon soul.
I get some custom
You
labor text for that.
cannot fully die. Instead, your soul will make its way to the twisting nether. There, you will wait until you can find a suitable.
This game doesn't usually try to describe how players can get back up when they die, right? It's kind of cool that they have that for this, though.
Bring me the keystone.
Yeah, you could do like a legacy thing. You could do permadeath in my D&D system with augments, having all your stats and abilities. Having to roll a new character or have like a set of characters in the background. Oh, it did count as a sacrifice. That's cool. Oh, I'm on Argus? Holy shit. Argus is the Draenei homeworld.
Mount up. The Legion is not playing around. They've unleashed their devastators. We barely made
It's fun.
it through.
I did that cool little submission in Warlords where there were a bunch of like flaming boulders rolling down a hill. It's very
Kill them!
very Ocarina of Time. It's a Doomslayer. Again, same question. He slays Doom?
You made it through.
Oil Scar Captain.
The matron mother bid me come to her.
Lord Illidan knows the way.
Leggings of Sacrifice. They set you up with a decent amount of gold here at the start. So I'm not allowed to have a full shirt because I have to have my defensive tattoos
The Spider
displayed.
Fortress, the Soul Engine, and the Forge are their primary targets. The servants of Illidan must succeed.
Sun Fury? Hey, it's someone named Darkstar. You know you were a elf person?
Well, hello there.
Yo, take your Sheevan across the gap to the Forge of Corruption.
Next time, we will see it done.
Who are the Sheevan? I mean, they look like... I understand why they're called the Sheevan, but have they been in the Warcraft lore for a long time? Why are they on our side?
Tenderness.
I can understand why the Russians are on our side.
It will be as you say.
How can I aid you, little one? A fine task for the Coil Scar.
Bound to be
I
others.
am in agreement.
Azeroth must not fall.
Let us
Tell me what you know about Mardoom. Because they call this gossip text.
No place for Naga.
Created Mardoom to imprison demons. Oh, I actually already talked about this. I don't need more of that. Thanks, Mr. Sunfury. Jace Darkweaver.
Death. We cannot
Damn.
launch our attack until we are sure we won't be flanked.
Yes, let's be certain to take care of that.
Is Umkin viable? I think so. I think that doesn't Druid have by far the most feasible builds in WoW right now. I don't know if you're still around, Donovan. Hey, what's up, Jace Darkweaver? His hair is perfect. Yes, Jace, I will use my special sight to look into the cave.
Spectral sight on the cave entrance. Something's not right.
Alright. Face the cave and use spectral sight. Oh, that's cool. That's way cooler than less, thought it was just gonna be flavor. It's a trap.
We are all that stands between the Legion and annihilation.
Throw glaive.
Trust.
To glaive. Which, as we all know, means to bluff.
Won't escape us. Illidari, attack!
I do really like that glide, they got that to trigger automatically on the jump button. It would be fine if I had to press the button, like bind it to my bar, but it feels right for it to work that way. Oops. Oops. I think they got rid of mana, didn't they? Although maybe they have mana as like a arcane power style charging resource
I need to target
for like
something
spenders.
first.
I don't think my Shadow Priest has mana
Far
anymore.
away.
All for the better. Mana's kind of boring. Let me use this cool Eye Blast ability here. It's pretty sweet. I like that animation. Shrek was untouched. Yeah, Andrea's probably gonna want to play it.
I need to get closer.
Classes don't use mana, healers do, Steam mages do. So I just don't have mana anymore when I switch to Shadow Priest. I haven't tried turning on non-Shadow Priest because I've just been leveling with Priest. I didn't see any reason to heal. They do? Really?
It's too far away.
I don't think I've noticed it in any of my tooltips or anything. Oh, all my spells are free except for heals. Interesting. That's a way to do it. I guess they wanted to keep healers going out of mana as a game mechanic. Fish. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. Fish heads, eat them up, yum. Damn your spectral sight. Oh man. Axe proceeds to miss its mark. He just completely whipped it around the corner of the room. Yeah, DPS running out of mana is dumb. I agree. I took his power, and it's because that's kind of cool. So he throws his axe, and that makes me go, oh shit, these crazy... Why are we calling these glaives? I don't know what I would call them. Oh man, I could do that shit too. I could throw my shit around. I didn't think of that. An ability where you throw your weapon and you just can't get it back. It's like, shit. Sure as hell ain't glaives. Definitely not glaive guisarmes. Glaive is like a halberd, right? Like, what's the difference between a halberd and a glaive? Two glaive. Head use like the shape of it. There's some post on the WoW subreddit today that was complaining about an iconic night elf glaive they're mad about not getting to use. Halberd's a battle axe on a stick. Glaive is a short sword on a stick.
I have sacrificed everything. What have you given? We will not last much longer.
Oh shit, I didn't think you'd level up in here. It's cool.
Last I saw, Corvus cut a swath of destruction.
My life
out her
is
way.
dedicated.
Alright, so I should have a new ability, right? Yeah, throw glaive. Alright. Well, I'm building a standard of where I put all the shit on my bars, so I should have thought about this before I made these decisions. That there, and that there, and that there, right? Okay. 3 has been my ranged attack button. It seems like every class, at least every tank and DPS, kind of follows the same rules of, oh, I've got something that I can use all the time. I've got something that's is a spender that I can only use after I've accrued resource. I've got a thing that's an AoE that's on cooldown. I've got a thing that's a single target that's on cooldown. Cool, they made me use the thing. Probably the only zone in the game that requires it. Later, sir.
You who won't survive, demon witch. How droll. Even from up here, I can sense your uncertainty. Tell me, dear, have you considered joining us?
Throw glaive is just like a pole, right? I guess I can ricochet, that's nice.
Lord Illidan leads, and the Coil Scar follow.
Captain's report.
That attack has really good sense of hitting,
I don't have a
which
target.
is the thing I was describing as a big problem. I do think that Final Fantasy XIV is like mechanically superior to WoW from a combat perspective. Just like the polish of the abilities, the feel of combat, the control you have over what you're targeting, your camera. I really have to install a lot of add-ons to really feel the weight of anything I'm doing in WoW. And that could just be because of spaghetti code and they haven't updated it in forever, because this is coming from the same king of visceral combat, Blizzard, that makes Diablo 3, which is its entire like claim to fame, that it feels good to press buttons and hit shit. Let me go hit that thing. I think the only valid complaint about 14 is that the GCD is really long.
This demon will die.
Yeah, you'd have a better pacing
I need to get closer.
if the GCD was shorter in Final Fantasy 14. Also, if the abilities are more impactful. It's something I like about WoW. I don't have any right now, but on my Death Knight I have an ability that says your maximum health is increased by 50%, or something ridiculous like that.
Target.
Whereas everything in Final Fantasy 14 is your maximum health is increased by 4%. It matters in bleeding edge content, but never anywhere else.
The Legion's soul engines. You saved those Illidari from a fate worse than death.
Well, WoW's a bit slower now, is my understanding.
I ask that you honor our pact
Like,
and come to their aid.
they took a bunch of abilities that were off GCD and put them on GCD, And WoW has a shitload of off GCD weaving. Sometimes certain classes are expected to weave 2 off GCDs in between a GCD. So you're pressing buttons all the time. The only problem is if you're just starting playing the game and you have no abilities, it feels really slow and clunky. Especially if you're playing like a caster class that's charging up as an ability.
Beware. There is a dreadlord inside that soul engine.
Seems like they built this entire group of enemies for me to use my laser beams. Hold on. That felt pretty good.
I don't have a
GCD is global cooldown, and it stands for the amount of time that you have to wait between activating any ability. Some abilities have, you know, like a 30-second cooldown, like my I-beam, but every ability I have to wait for it to refresh. I've said it before on stream, but MMOs are effectively turn-based. It's just that the duration of a turn is extremely short. It's the length of the GCD, and if you fail to press a button during the GCD, you're basically skipping your turn.
And unleash a torrent of souls on him.
Oh, Torrent of Souls, that makes sense. At least saw the wells. Off GCD, which I don't know if there are any in this game for me to demonstrate. No, I do have one. Off GCD means it's a skill that does not trigger the GCD when it's activated. So it can typically be woven, in between 2 GCDs, because triggering it doesn't stop you from using other abilities, if that makes sense. So like this skill right here, Disrupt, you'll notice that while I'm pressing buttons down here, it is, it's never doing that clock thing. So even while it's going, I can press it and it still hits stuff. So like the Bard in Final Fantasy XIV is basically built around using off GCD abilities all the time in between basically every attack. And the off GCDs almost always have, well, I'm trying to think if I've ever played an MMO that has an off GCD ability that doesn't have a normal cooldown. Probably not, it would be too OP. Because you could just machine gun press it. Yeah, in WoW it's interrupts and defensive cooldowns. In Final Fantasy XIV there's a lot of offensive abilities that are off GCD. That aren't usually defensive. Like procs are usually off GCD, so a proc is whenever you're attacking there's a chance for your character to unlock something that lets them do something special. I had a little health energy orb, but oof. Let's wait for the natural res. I don't think I get a big debuff here. Making sure I didn't miss any new powers.
Lord Illidan knows the way. If we don't meet again, die
I'm missing
well.
Kiri there.
The Imp Mother is in that cave right there. I have to go. Kane's called me back to handle.
I have to go. I should go. Yeah, I don't know what's up. I assume that Demon Hunter wasn't nerfed, or maybe the area was assuming there'd be a bunch of other players running around. I have this buff that says Illidari forces will reinforce me in combat, but that appears to attempt to trigger based on whether there are other players around me.
Get away! You cannot have my call. Send me.
Anything I've been doing that's particularly wrong, Donovan?
My fell secrets will consume you.
Thanks, Prop. Appreciate that. No, whenever you hear that basketball noise, that's the fire sound. Ah, very good. You on the PTR? Are you okay with doing PTR next Monday? to try out the new character. It's like right now I'm almost dead, right? And I guess I could kill these little minions and hope that they drop some health orbs. Since this fight actually has orbs, there we go. And I do have another player here, so that helps a little bit. I really like that move. It feels really good. It might be the best feeling ability I've ever used in WoW. Most abilities in this game feel like gunk, but that I-beam ability roots you in place and it lifts you in the air for a couple seconds and then it gives you a shitload of giant damage numbers. So it feels really, really good to activate. I kind of have to work for it. It's got a longish cooldown and it consumes energy. Steal your secrets. Yeah, right. Get to see it at least. Oh well, alright. I think that's because there are a bunch of extra enemies there that we're scaling. But the other guy that was in the room with me ended up bailing instead of fighting them. Yes, yes. God, all the guild invites. Gotta hurry up and get Apex and Matt to invite me. I think they're still at a science conference this week, so it might be a bit. Oh shit, I should totally get that invite now because I would get reputation for all of these quest turn-ins. Balls. I think so. It's not frequent enough right now. Fucking Forge Fiend, huh? Okay, so we're gonna interact with that. Oh sweet, yeah, if you want to play on Monday, that'd be fun, this name. We can have no randos, that'd be the dream. Overwatch is a solid game. Where's our Legion? Yeah, so like, I don't think that's a pack that I'm meant to be able to attempt with, by myself. Expected to have at least one other person, or for my my allies to spawn. My guess is that the game tries to spawn allies for you if it doesn't detect any other players nearby, but if it detects some players, it assumes that you'll work with them. They have no idea just how antisocial I am.
Your world will be purged.
Purging the worlds. Alright. I like that I can use that ability out of mount. It feels pretty good.
Destroy the burning legion.
I'm out of range.
Wait, must remember the light.
I think this area also has level scaling, presumably, so it would have been impacted by the changes they made in Battle for Azeroth. Level scaling is a Battle for Azeroth idea, right? It's not a Legion idea?
I will repay my debt to you.
Please do.
I can't attack that target.
She sounds so bored. Can't attack that target. Sorry. Oh, this would be great if I could use my eyeball nuke. I don't have it though, it makes me very sad. 3 seconds to eyeball nuke. There we go. Didn't hit everybody. Alright. So. Have any of the Warcraft games ever gone to Mardoon before? Or has it just been mentioned in lore? Something with Sargeras. The next one's deadline would have been this week if I knew I was going to run over with FTL twice. So it'll be next Tuesday for sure. And Subnautica is going to replace FTL. And whatever wins the vote is going to replace Battletech. Doom Fortress Devastator, where is that? Way the hell down there. So far, the design of this zone is very different from the Death Knight quests. This is more about like going through a big dungeon, non-stop action. Yeah. We're still cleaning up the chain victory. It was a bunch of games that had all been on the sheet for multiple years. Darkest Dungeon and Xenosaga had both been featured in over 20 hours of subblocks. What Demon Hunter specialization do you want to learn? I want to do the tank one. I mean, I want to do the tank one because I want to play tank, but also so I stop dying in here. Change the Mastery of Vengeance. Specialized hunters can use Metamorphosis to turn into spiked demons. They focus on tanking. Metamorphosis as well as Mastery Fell Blood. Increases the armor bonus of demon spikes by a portion of your... Oh, I want an agility tank? That's cool. I-Beam will change. No, I love I-Beam. Does Demon Hunter only have 2 specs? That's kind of cool. It blows my mind that this game has, what is it, like 10 classes and they all have 3 specs? It basically has 30 classes from the way they design them now. Many of them share very few abilities in common. Immolation Aura seems like it's still kind of cool. So.
My life is dedicated to destroying the Burning Legion.
Cool. Let me make sure I equip that shit. Give me a second though.
What you have learned.
Oops. Metamorphosis. Dark Metamorphosis. Transform to demon form for 15 seconds. Oh, gross. Generate 7 pain every 1 second. Okay. Shear. Shears an enemy for 340 physical damage. Shatters a lesser soul fragment from your target. Ah, so that's how I heal, presumably. Soul Cleave. Viciously strike all enemies in front of you. Consumes up to soul fragments within 25 yards. That's much more interesting. Infernal Strike. Leap through the air toward a targeted location. Oh, that replaces my old dash. Okay. Right on. That's neat. Generate 7 pain is such an RPG phrase, I know, right? Oh man, some of those Demon Hunter animations are really cool looking. I like that they kind of like change your model during it. Gets that sense of hitting I keep talking about.
Between the Legion and Annihilation.
Hey, look at this shit. My character's a badass. I don't have to be. I have to teach this to the noobs. Jeez, the secrets I uncovered.
My life is dedicated to destroying the Burning Legion.
We are all that stand between the Legion and I could
We
destroy
are
the
only
Legion on
stands
my
between the
own.
Legion and annihilation. More.
Go team.
I want more power.
Yo, Mana Thrill.
Must not fall. Wait, I can't contain.
Oh, he couldn't contain the power. He blew up. Alright. They're just trying to point out how rad I am that I didn't get blown up by that. Roger. Okay. Neat. Generate 7 pain. So I gotta compete to make the most ridiculous system nouns. Gotta like manage your zeal meter. I think that's part of what attracts me so much to Homestuck, because Homestuck is an elaborate parody of that, or maybe not Homestuck as much as Problem Sleuth before it is what originally got me into it. But I guess Homestuck still has like the Strife Specivus. It's pretty goofy. Oh, I turn into a cool demon. That's neat. I like it. I want to move this to shift. Doesn't actually do. It does do a little bit of damage. It's mostly for moving. I don't know if Homestuck is worth reading now that there's a giant backlog. I read it because I was following MS Paint Adventures because Problem Sleuth was funny. And then Homestuck just kind of naturally started to get crazier and crazier. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. It was... I did not make the Earthbound connection for a really long time, especially with the title. It's not worth reading it, but it is worth having read it. That's a good way to put it, yeah. Go away. Hey, what's up, guys?
I have sacrificed everything. What have you given? If we do not meet again, come on, let's get up there.
Sorry, I'm just seeing if Matt, Ginny, or Apex can shoot me a guild invite. I hate wasting all this quest turn-ins. Like, the way guild rep works, it gives you rep for turn-ins, and occasionally the game does a thing where it like gives you 4 or 5 back-to-back quests to turn in.
Good luck to all of you.
That just give a really mild reward, but each give the same amount of guild rep. Fell bats. Does the bat have a cool laser Cyclops mask? It does. They're not too bad right now. Figure I'll get a guild invite eventually. It is a weird concept, and it's like virtually never relevant. I guess you're gonna cap rep within 4 or 5 hours of playing. I think it exists to prevent abuses with joining a guild and immediately having access to the things that it's unlocked.
Remember, I'll secure the exit portal back to the Black Temple once the others fly up here.
Because like I could help
Kane has already launched the attack on
Apex, Matt, and Ginny unlock this achievement that will let me get heirloom pants for all of my characters, or I could quit the guild, join somebody else's guild, and immediately unlock those heirloom pants and have them forever. Except I can't do it immediately because I would have to grind rep with that second guild for several hours. Yeah, I think it's at this point it's just a gating mechanism to keep people from abusing guild hopping. sits down and decides what they want to spend their time on.
None can resist my kiss.
It's just who made the blindfolds for the bats? It's a really good question. Oh, it's so much less cool than the eyeball laser, but I'm also not dying at all now. Now I'm at 90% health the whole time. It's great. I unlocked specialization. So the main difference in the specialization is that as DPS, when enemies die, they leave behind little soul orbs that I eat. As tank, whenever I use my button that I press all the time, I generate little orbs that heal me. It actually feels pretty good. I don't know, I might switch to DH for in-game tanking. We'll see. I want to get them both to level cap and decide which one I want to go with. So far, the sense of hitting on this one feels a lot better. About half the buttons I press on Death Knight, I don't really feel the weight of them, if that makes sense. Oh, it's a cool little satanic planetarium. It's neat. Who's like the, you know, satanic AV hobbyists that rig this thing up? Do the devils have nerds? How do I get downstairs? I guess a bunch of NPCs ran outside. I don't have to grab the orbs, which is pretty cool. I can, but my number 2 attack sucks in any orbs that are nearby and automatically absorbs them. I was having to pick them up on DPS, and that was pretty shitty. Didn't feel good. Alright, I gotta find a way to go down. I can't jump off the edge, because then I will die. Are they really doing DLCs for Final Fantasy 15? Darkstar, do you have like an alert set up, like a hashtag that you listen to that only alerts you to like really upsetting negative gaming news? Here's what's wrong with Spyro Reignited. Is the story not finished? And Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 14 collab? Is that really a collab? I guess they are different sub-teams within Square Enix. First of the DLC rounded out gaps in the story. Let's see. Yo, what's up?
Azeroth must not fall.
Keystone is basically a set of car keys for your spaceship. Is that correct? Nonavan? Like I effectively just climbed into the front seat of the truck semi and like checked underneath the visor.
Between the Legion and
oh, that's cool.
Hurry. Use the
So I'm the only one that has these car keys.
We must rejoin the fight at the Black Temple.
Okay, so the fight at the Black Temple is the raid from Burning Crusade where everybody fought and killed Illidan, but then they like retcon that they killed Illidan, or do they actually like resurrect him in Legion?
Lord Illidan has fallen.
Illidari, avenge the master!
That's cool.
You bear the mark of his corruption.
This is Burning Crusade.
And so the demon's blood within you.
Wait, I know this chick from, she's in Legion, right? I was doing some friendly quests with her. I, like, introduced her to an orc, her and
Take them to
Khadgar.
the vault. There they shall be with the betrayer. forever.
Why does she sound all evil and pissed? What was that weird time thing on the bottom?
The time has come, Cortana. Prove your loyalty.
That's Gul'dan. He's Dick now. No, Cortana's the one that I was hanging out with in Warlords of Draenor. What's Gul'dan doing? Because I can never get to the end of the story of Warlords of Draenor. How did Warlords end? It sounded like Pandaria connected to Warlords by Garrosh getting away and traveling through time. So I assume Warlords ends with Gul'dan doing some shit.
Illidari. I've spent my
That's
entire
alternate
life
universe
as
Gul'dan though, right? It's not the real Gul'dan? The OG
thousands of
Gul'dan?
years, my only solace, knowing the world is kept safe from your kind. But I would do anything to save Azeroth.
Oh. So it's like getting evil Superman from another Elseworld.
Will you help us, Demon Hunter?
That's pretty neat. Sure. So that nice lady that I introduced to the orcs with Khadgar is actually evil? Or is she, like, corrupted? Who's actually evil in the Warcraft universe?
What is your report? I will need your help to stop Gul'dan. Free the other Illidari quickly.
Whoa, that's a pretty cool room. Oh, shit.
I am awake. How is
Void
this
Lords.
possible? How many years were wasted in that cell?
Okay. So the Void Lords are actually evil, but even they are the ones that are secretly pulling the strings of Sargeras, who we thought was supposed to be the big bad, but is actually fought at the end of this expansion, which I probably won't see.
He opposed Lord Illuminmeyer. Free us.
So they corrupted Sargeras, and then Sargeras corrupted the Space Devil people,
Sacrificed everything.
and then the Space Devil people corrupted the Orcs,
We need to release
and then a corrupted Orc ghost corrupted a blonde Paladin man,
I need to get closer. I will hold the line.
and then the blonde Paladin man corrupted an Elf lady, but then the Elf lady kind of uncorrupted herself for a while and wasn't a total jerk. But then one day, at least the story now appears to be pointing that Sylvanas is corrupted again by something else. Maybe it's the Void Lords, who knows. But in most cases, it sounds like it's not really the person's fault that they got corrupted. I guess drinking the demon blood was a decision. They didn't have to make bad consequences. It's basically a giant pyramid scheme. It's like the multi-level marketing of evil. I know, right? It's just all corruption insurance at this point. If you corrupt 3 people, then 50% of their evil goes downline to you. And if each of them corrupts 3 people, it's basically infinite money. Dude, the tank spec is so much better.
I'm out of range.
Free the imprisoned Illidari. Some of them are upstairs. I seem to remember when Sylvanas was just kind of chilling in Undercity that she seemed like one of the more reasonable Horde leaders. Vol'jin was super reasonable. Karen Bloodhoof was super reasonable. Turning SP into a multi-level marketing scheme. I have a really close friend who recently got into multi-level marketing, and it sucks because it's like once they've already paid the pay-to-play fee, I think they had to pay $500 for the privilege of then being able to pay to obtain stock to sell. It's already too late. Like you're so bought into it, and if someone calls you out and is like, that's kind of a scam. Like, I don't think a human brain can really accept it after that much of an investment. You recruit someone, get half of all the HSP they generate. That could work. That sounds sustainable.
It has been a long time since Mardoom. I am ready for another. It feels good to move again. Thank you.
No problem. I'm happy to help. Just over here walking around with my two glaives. Actually, it's a fell etched glaive, so it's not just any glaive, but somebody like carved some bad into them. Oh, what does it say? Increase attack power by 50 when fighting demons.
Years and years with only the voices in my head.
Sorry, I'm abandoning you to go fight demons. I don't think there are any sock puppets in the system. Every now and then I look through the list and try to suss them out if there's any people doing that. You're good friends, Propagable 1 and 2.
I need a target.
Alright. I hope they get rid of her. I'm pretty over Sylvanas. He's a very frustrating character.
So the desperate warden has turned to her enemies. Give up, demon hunter. If you hope to escape the vault, you will have to face me.
Bastilax. Yeah, exactly, Prop. That's where I look at the vote data.
Lord Illidan knows the way. I too have felt betrayed by everything. What have you given?
The wardens are watching.
Demon spikes. Oh, that's interesting. It's a 17 sec recharge defensive cooldown that has charges. It's very interesting. I'm not used to defensive cooldowns that are that short.
Illidan's storm rage.
Wait, so how is Illidan still alive? When we killed him, we didn't actually kill him. We locked him in a rock during Black Temple. Was that the retcon?
Soon, the body is cold, but his soul is not done fighting.
I really like alternate universe Gul'dan's model. He looks really cool.
He is ready.
Hurry then. The wardens are coming with the Illidari in tow.
Ooh, they are.
Will I feasibly be able to get to it before I exceed the level range for Legion content?
Now you belong to the Legion.
Like, where is it, though? a setback.
Cordana, you will answer to the High Council for this.
Judge me all you like, sister, but you cannot stop us.
You are too
That's
late,
cool.
Warden.
Something that would improve this game a lot for me would be, it's something that they only recently added in Final Fantasy XIV, but they started adding a unique quest icon for quests that were important, that unlocked content or gave a reward other than just gold or experience. I feel like there's a lot of quests that are, you know, diamonds in the rough, secret gold, and there's no way to really find those other than to Google it.
It's too far away.
Crusher and Sledge slain and power taken. Magic damage taken increased by 5%. Sharing health with nearby demons. So we want to try to group them up if we can. Oh god. That was cool. Hey, thanks, dragon friend.
Just like old times, eh, Kane? Do not speak to me of old times, Altruis. You betrayed Illidan. You betrayed us all.
Attack the brute without the brutal attacks buff. Demon Link, Chaos Brand, brutal attacks. Oh, neat. Okay. Hey, mechanics in my single player content. I like it. I like that it gave me a couple of rounds of getting hit by that before it told me what to do. Alright, so they alternate which one of them has that buff. It doesn't matter because they share a health value. That's cool. They switched again? They did. Whoa. Betrayal this, betrayal that. Alright.
After 10,000 years of imprisonment, Illidan succumbed to the fell energy within. When he was free, he was not in his right mind.
Oh, Illidan's actually been a good guy the whole time.
He needed us to have faith in him, Altruis.
Poor Illidan. That poor evil demon man. Yeah. So I think that might happen if I'm in front of them. Sorry, it's just I'm in a tank spec, so it seems wrong to not stay in front of the enemy. It looks like the NPCs are tanking though, so guess I'll stop. Due to deliberately corrupted himself, just had a temporary excess of corruption. It's fine. Yeah, he really wanted to eat that juice. It makes sense. Eat a demon heart? That's what Illidan did, right?
I'm out of range.
You followed Illidan blindly like a dog. Even when he lost his... He made the hard choices. He sacrificed everything. What did you give? I fought as hard as the rest of you, but I did not murder thousands of innocents.
Alright, so Altruis is the lampshade hang, and Kane is the retcon. I would like to figure out why all of their attacks seem to knock me back no matter what. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to interrupt Annihilate? Maybe that's what's knocking me back. That or brutal attacks, okay. I think that's the confusing part. I think that's it. I think they both have an ability that they have a short charge bar for that I'm supposed to interrupt with Disrupt. Got it. Now I know now that they're dead. But... the one named Cain did a betrayal, and the one named Altruism sees the best in Illidan.
My life is dedicated to destroying the Burning Legion.
Altruist.
Remember, nothing is more important. You heard the Warden. We are the only ones who can defeat the Legion. We must survive this place.
Alright.
Fool, you would trust the Warden. She hates us almost as much as the Legion. You trust no one and believe in nothing, Altruist. You are a leader with no followers.
Doesn't seem like a good idea. Rusty crystals gain chance on hit, fire damage, and increase movement speed by 10%. Unusable. Wait. Are there?
Hold the line, demon hunters. We fight in Lord Illidan's name.
Yeah. I know, right? I think you're always a silent protagonist in WoW. I guess you occasionally get some dialogue choices. This is where I would really like, I mentioned this yesterday in the Warlords of Draenor stream, but there's a Mists of Pandaria quest chain where you're like talking to these people, and they're telling you different versions of a story, and each time you hear their version of the story, you control them and you gain a new ability set. You roleplay as them and they have dialogue and everything, and it feels really cool. So that would work if maybe the main character is just like a camera to run into these other characters, and the story is usually you controlling other characters. But I think Final Fantasy XIV would be way more tolerable if instead of a 1-hour cutscene, you controlled the characters that were doing the cool shit in the 1-hour cutscene. They started doing that with a couple of recent patches, I guess. Frozen in time.
Aside from us,
Activate the countermeasures, like Razor's Shield.
being the operative word.
Fiery Brand.
We cannot afford to lose Cain and Altruist here. Waste no time and help them quickly.
Immolanth is full of pure, coalesced fell power. Okay. Fell doesn't just mean bad, it means like green bad. It's an important distinction. I think I have new powers, don't I? Alright. Imprison. Imprisons a demon beast or humanoid and incapacitate him for 1 minute. Damage will cancel the effect. Don't know if I like that only works on certain kinds of creatures, though. I guess it's a flavor ability. I'm not supposed to use that all the time. Excuse me. Hold on. There, I'm good. Sigil of Flame. Place the Sigil of Flame in the target location. Activates after 2 seconds. Okay. Demon Spikes is my cool short cooldown tanking ability. What's up, bud? We want to kill the ads, usually a rule. Oh, this is a cool fight. Dodge all the crap on the ground. I like it. I feel like with this whole purple health orb thing that tank demon hunter should have better sustain than Death Knight. I'm actually curious where the distinction ends up being. Casting Chaos Nova, get out of dodge. I like that your allies get out of dodge too, in case you weren't sure what to do there. This guy's got some health. Goodness. Glad he didn't start at full resources. Burns nearby enemies every 1 second. Get out of dodge.
Join me, demon hunters. We will increase your power beyond imagining.
Do you really want me to join you? Is that really a good idea? He's down 10k health from when I first got in the room. This really does feel like I'm supposed to have a bunch of other players with me. I have these NPCs. Nope. Oh shit, my thing's on cooldown. I'm gonna die. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Down to 36k. Big money, come on, 6% of your health remaining. I like that stops casting the second that I get out of the circle. Yeah, this whole thing that makes orbs for me to eat for health has had me at full health for this entire fight, despite having aggro the whole time. Because they broke me out of my 5-year-ish prison. I was in this, like, big green rock. I didn't like it very much. $14k health left. $9k health left. It's gonna happen. $6k. Really like that jump move. Death Knights, I think, are the least mobile class in the game. Close to it.
Demon's power is yours.
Learn the new ability, Fiery Brand. Brand an enemy with a demonic symbol, instantly dealing damage and reducing the damage they deal to you by 40%. That's pretty neat. Yeah, Yeah, this is a fun class so far. Got a good sense of hitting. Controls well. I like the double jump and the glide. It's a neat way to do tanking.
Destroying the burning legion.
Self-healing seems like it's a pretty significant component of all tanking in this game. At least for the 2 tanks that I've tried.
He is too strong. Our only hope is to reactivate the orbs and seal him inside the chamber.
Alright, can do that. I like the clock fire thing, that's cool. It's like they want you to use the double jump glide. I wonder how often you can use that glide to actually avoid mechanics in raids. 'Cause that would be kind of cool. You're avoiding fire in the ground by gliding over it. I kind of assumed that was just a neat, flavorful power, but if it actually is effective in raids and dungeons, that's neat. It gives you a small speed boost, like when the wings come out. Let's go do this last quest over here. It's a Lich King, Monks in Pandaria, DH and Legion. Yeah. I feel like they should stick with hero classes.
Focused upon me. Redirect the final mirror to shatter its shield.
No, this is totally a double jump fight. Whoa, this is pretty cool. It was really simple, it was a neat idea.
Quickly,
I can't attack
everyone
that
out while the
target.
creature is stunned.
I'll get out. Interesting. I was going to say, their current design philosophy is get to the end game as fast as possible. They should stick to hero classes because it achieves that purpose, and it also requires a lot less work from them. They don't have to make a variation of the hero class for a jillion different races. And oh, this is actually a real dungeon. That's cool. This is a Legion dungeon. I like when they do that. They've done that a little bit in Final Fantasy XIV as well. How you go back to an old raid solo. So the mirror rotating is an actual boss mechanic.
I have sacrificed everything. What have you given?
Should I already recognize those mechanics from earlier in WoW?
Others are waiting for you above.
Or is it like the Demon Hunter's going to recognize it when they go to do this dungeon later in Legion? Oops. What I just meant is that this isn't like a classic, this isn't like a WoW dungeon from Cataclysm or something that I should be recognizing the mechanics for.
Your allies have fallen. My army will crush you before you can see the light of day.
Yeah. I knew what I was supposed to do when I went in there, but... It'd be like sending a single player into Nax, though, and being like, oh, you gotta kill the two things at the same time. Be like, oh, I get it.
Stop this foolish bickering. We do not have time for this.
Lord Illidan taught us
Do
to
not
fight and to
give in to the
persevere.
power of the Legion.
Together, we destroyed countless demons. You chose the coward's path. I could only trust my own sight, brother. Lord Illidan was becoming no better than
So,
our enemy.
Demon Hunters use leather
Killed our
armor
own people.
with
You
agility
spit in
to
the face of our
tank.
sacrifice.
Agility, stamina, critical strike, and haste. Okay. Although they probably don't want critical strike on tank. It's probably haste and versatility if it's anything like Death Knight. Okay. To decide if I want to spend the money on upgrading my heirlooms for that. Because I only get to use them till 110.
Not prepared. The enemy came into our world.
Standing completely still.
Their only desire to extinguish all life. They slaughtered our loved ones. They razed our homes, our cities, and our sacred places. You tried to stop them, and you failed. And so you came to me. Nothing remaining of you but rage and determination. And you learned that the things that once tormented you could give you power. Now you see that there is no sacrifice too great if it brings an end to the Burning Legion.
But
Yeah, I like this.
Lord Illidan,
I love them to do more cutscenes like this.
demonic energies course through our veins. They gnaw at our every thought. What makes us any different from the monsters we fight?
You question the Master.
Chris Angel.
We will not sit idly like those on Azeroth.
I hope they do more cutscenes like this. This is really cool looking.
Demons pray. We will take this war to the Legion's worlds and prey upon them.
He didn't really answer her question. He deflected there. He's like, let's go fight more demons.
You dare attack the Doom Lord.
Yeah, propagable. Same thought.
Your mission has failed. Your cause dies with them. You smell more of demon than hunter. You would serve us well.
Never.
That was a question she asked. Okay, that's a pit lord.
You wish to know the difference between the demons and us. They will stop at nothing to destroy our world.
And
we
we'll stop eventually.
sacrifice everything to save it.
Okay. They'll stop at nothing and we give up eventually.
Know of this victory.
We'd like to destroy the
They
world, but
will fear you, my Illidari.
yeah, we will stop at nothing to destroy their world.
You are prepared.
Oh wow. See, that's the kind of cheese I like. I feel like they do so well. Choose between Cain and Altruist.
My life is
What?
dedicated to destroying the Burning Legion.
Alright, Altruist is the one that betrayed Illidan. Cain is the one that has followed Illidan. Fuck Illidan, man. Go with
Death
Altruist.
to the Legion.
Story choice will not affect your character's power. Appreciate that, game. Oh, but he's a renegade? God, do I pick the renegade? What's the least goth option I can pick here? Sun Furies. He's the Sufferer? Jesus. God, I can't fucking win. I am playing as a demon hunter. I'm a rad 80s glam elf that ripped out my eyes so that I could be a super space goth. So, I should probably be leaning into it and taking the most goth option. Which is definitely Altruist the Sufferer. Any other class with Death Knight. Death Knight, I think, is more metal. I think Blood Elf. Please, play Alliance. Good morning, Kaihan. How are you? Be a race trader. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, fuck the Blood Elves. That's 2 Team Night Elf.
Trust the traitor? I can do no more here.
Bye, Felicia.
We are all that stands between the Legion and annihilation.
Torment. Hey. It makes sense to give that to you at the end, because you're not going to need it for mostly single-player content.
Trust in Lord Illidan. The others are in the chamber just ahead.
I get taunt from the final guy. Picking my alliance solely on elf racism. Not surprised at all. Yeah, I read the Demon Hunters as being very goth anti-hero, like, oh man, we gotta be demons to fight demons, man. Death Knights are kind of just like, oh, this sucks. What have you sacrificed? No one has it worse than me. Crushing shadows.
You will never see the light of this world again.
Blur of shadows, huh?
Hope is lost.
Alright, let's say, where'd all my bars go? I don't want to be standing in that. It seems bad. Can I get out of it easily? I'm just as powerful as you and I sacrifice nothing. I think I came up pretty good. Like a chill monk, probably. We're pretty balanced, man. Oh yeah? Is that what you're gonna do? Oh man. I'm actually kinda getting my butt beat here. I gotta get some of those healing orbs. Womp womp. Now that one was my fault for dying. For sure. The earlier stuff I think was assuming that I had multiple people. That time I was standing all that crap. You can do dick things if it's good. Overlook alternatives that achieve the same good without being a dick, right? It's all very dependent on saying constantly, this is the only way. Like, is it though? Have you thought about that? He doesn't track you while casting? Okay. So, like, the correct thing to do is circle strafe? I think he is tracking me though, right? You guess I can get behind a pillar and not take damage from it? Blur of shadows. Well, that time I didn't even see my health go down. Right on. Turns to you, starts to cast, and at that point stop turn. So I don't want to be constantly running. I want to wait for him to turn to me and then run. Or is he just going to keep following me if I keep moving? This is an example of a fight that, like, the mechanic would be a lot clearer in Final Fantasy 14. Okay, that time I dodged it. His hands start doing the casting animation. That's when I move. I see. Got it. If I let that hit me, it's extremely bad, so we don't want that to hit me at all. And he does this lame thing. He pulls me up, pulls away control from my character, which also happens to do a shitload of damage to me. Blur of Shadows. I don't know what that does yet. It looks like I can just constantly circle strafe him and it doesn't matter. Why would you wait to dodge? Uh-oh. God, there's so many ads now, I can't really keep up with them. Damn, I was so close. I'm actually not sure what killed me that time. My health bar is at the bottom. I think I just ended up having too many ads for me to deal with. I wasn't out healing it. Need to use more cooldowns, maybe? Yeah, so it's this bar down here, above my bars. Action bars. I gotta be pressing too. Hey, it kept it. Nice. Earned it.
I can't attack that.
I'd have to go back and read about what I'm supposed to do in that fight, because there's a couple times where I just wasn't putting out enough healing to make up for all the damage I was taking. I think maybe I was... Actually, when I finally died, it was when I stopped attacking the ads and started attacking the boss. So maybe I needed to be killing the ads to get more orbs to heal. Maybe it's an interrupt thing. I'm not used to interrupts, I gotta get accustomed to that again. It's been a while.
The fate of our world hangs in the balance.
Made it.
What would you ask of me?
What false move my axle end you? Seems
Grow old.
Hey, Sourfang. He's like the one good guy still in the Horde. You're the worst, Sylvanas.
Windrunner, come forward.
War Chief,
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
In the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted you.
Yeah, it's a really good question, probably.
Nor would I have ever imagined in our darkest time that you would be the one to save us.
Probably shouldn't be. Should be literally anyone else. Vol'jin.
They whisper a name.
Dying Vol'jin looks pretty cool, though.
You will not understand, but you must step out of the shadows and lead. You must be.
So, didn't Thrall also appoint Garrosh, which was a terrible decision? Poor Vol'jin. Got killed by a trash mob in a cutscene, I guess. Fuck that up. Yeah.
Vol'jin is dead.
So it's like there's a chain of corruptions, there's a pyramid scheme of corruptions, and a pyramid scheme of incompetent appointments.
Will help me avenge him.
Nobody appointed Vol'jin, though, right? He, like, actually kind of deserved it. De facto leader after Garrosh went down. Heard that something like 80% of Blizzard employees play Horde. Keep reading all these posts about people complaining that the Alliance just exists to be a foil for the Horde story. Audience with the War Chief.
Azeroth must not fall.
Vol'jin's death is part of a larger plan. Okay. Use your spectral sight. Oh, that's a cool use of it. I don't see anybody.
Lord Illidan knows the way.
Wait.
Do not give in to the power of the Legion.
Try doing that again, because apparently it says that of course they tried to infiltrate. I didn't see anybody. Wait for it to come off cooldown. Vol'jin arrived at the Inner Sanctum upon Garrosh's defeat. He told Thrall that the Horde needs its true war chief now more than ever. Thrall agreed, claiming it was Vol'jin who had helped hold together in the dark time of Hellscream's reign. Okay. So it kind of broke the chain of incompetent appointments, since he was actually kind of a competent choice. That's what that red shit means, maybe? No, it's red shit anyway. The competent leader, gotta kill him fast.
Between the Legion and annihilation.
Brand of the Banshee Queen.
If we do not meet again, die well.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go rescue her. No! I got
What joy is there in
you!
this curse?
Wow, yeah. So those pretty good disguises.
What are we, if not
Is he actually a god now? Vol'jin? I'm not super clear on how gods work in Warcraft either. Like, Malfurion's basically a god too, right? Who's leading the trolls now that Vol'jin's dead? Lots of things are gods, okay. Well, I mean, like, the Titans were gods. Sargeras was a god, right? Closest thing to a capital G god.
It's too far away.
Not really. They're just super powerful space aliens? Okay.
What brings you here?
I thought they did world creating type stuff. Azeroth is kind of sort of a god, right? Planets are Titan eggs. That's cool. You know, the Dick Wolf's comic, the response was in very bad taste, and I think that Penny Arcade regrets it, but the core conceit, that isn't it kind of silly that, you know, you only rescue 12 people, and they're like, well, that's how many I need to do. I'm done. Bye, everybody. Cash that in.
We will slaughter anyone.
Have a good time fighting the other ones later. Original Chica, that's nice. Some planets are Titan eggs. I see. I don't think I'm in real Orgrimmar. Or maybe I am. There's a bunch of players here. Now, let me work my settings. Gotta find a repair NPC. That may have been getting me in trouble too. My stuff was breaking just from being dead for a long time. Spirits told Vol'jin to make Sylvanas war chief. Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, what? Why would they say that? Seems like a horrible idea. Alright, now my cool cat thing is not flying mount. So it's gonna have to go. Do this one, it's pretty cool. Whoa! She crouches down all goofy. Alright. Supposed to surf on it. She looks like she's afraid that she's not gonna be able to stay on top of it. It's funny. Hey, it's Illidari camp.
Sacrificed everything.
Dalaran is under siege, hero. The Legion intends to knock us out of the sky.
If we do
Meet
not
me
meet
in
again,
Dalaran over Dead Wind Pass. I have a plan. A horribly dangerous plan. But a plan nonetheless.
When did Khadgar get introduced? He seems like he's really important, and I don't really remember him at all from like Wrath of the Lich King. Maybe he was around and I just don't remember him. Alright, so that was what I wanted to see from Demon Hunter. It sounds like I've accessed the full game now. Pretty cool. Enjoy the class so far. I am going to keep playing for a little bit because I'd like to see some of Legion proper, but I'd like to see that on my Death Knight, so I'm going to switch to him. Let me split the VOD really fast. There's going to be a second. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be another one for Legion First Impressions.